There are some wrestlers who never get to win, but they do pretty damn well for themselves. Maybe they last a long time or eliminate a ton of opponents or make it to the very end. Maybe all of the above. This list is about celebrating the Royal Rumble participants who couldn't quite pull it off in the end, but certainly made their impact.
Kane's most impressive Royal Rumble run is 2001, where he entered at number 5, lasted 53 minutes 46 seconds, eliminated 11 wrestlers, and made runner-up. But he never won any Royal Rumble match.
Punk's always done great in these kinds of matches, but there are 3 that really allow him to stand out. In 2010, before losing, he had a respectable 5 eliminations to his name. Then in 2011, he entered at number 1 Daniel Bryan, John Morrison, Mark Henry, Chris Masters, Tyler Rex, Vladimir Kozlov, and R-Truth all fell to Punk's hand. Once again, Punk appeared at number 1 in 2014, but he never won a Royal Rumble match after 3 appearances in his WWE career.
Wyatt performed really well in the 2015 Rumble. Appearing at number 5, he remained in the ring for 47 minutes 29 seconds, making him the Iron Man of that year. In 2017, Bray would go on to make 3rd place, though he didn't get any eliminations. Bray Wyatt also cannot won any Royal Rumble match in his career. When it comes to the Royal Rumble, Ambrose has always been in Roman Reigns' shadow. Ambrose lasted over a half hour in 2014. Ambrose was around for about 10 minutes in 2015. In 2016 Royal Rumble, Ambrose went through a grueling 20-minute last man standing match with Kevin Owens, but he never won any Royal Rumble match in his career. For Ryback in 2013 was a great showing for him. He appeared at number 30 and eliminated the likes of Damien Sandow, Sin Cara, The Miz, Randy Orton, and Sheamus. He made it to the finals, where he was eventually ousted by John Cena. That was Ryback's last true moment of looking like a top guy. He is also not able to win any Royal Rumble match. In the following years, he went on to eliminate nobody and last only long enough to be fed to one of the older monsters, like Batista and Big Show. It became increasingly hard to recall that he was once so close to being the top guy in the company. Rusev is a big dude, but he's not a big dude. For whatever reason, they treated him like the latter in his main roster debut when it took 4 guys to throw him out of the ring in the 2014 Rumble. In 2015, he had a stronger year. He eliminated 6 guys, although it wasn't the most impressive list of victims out there. It was an over-the-hill Diamond Dallas Page, Fandango, Damien Mizdow, Adam Rose, and Kofi Kingston and Big E from before anyone cared about New Day. Regardless, Rusev lasted for 35-40 and got knocked out of the ring, under the top rope, long enough that he could chill out on the outside while the ring cleared itself. By the time Roman Reigns fought off Kane and the Big Show thanks to The Rock's help and the fans in attendance were none too happy about it, people seemed to recall that Rusev was still in play and cheered him on. He returned to the ring, got speared, and lost anyway. Oh, well, he still got 2nd place. He has also not won any Royal Rumble match. Not only is Kurt Angle one of 3 men to eliminate Steve Austin from the Royal Rumble, but Kurt Angle has eliminated Steve Austin and Bill Goldberg. Angle's been in 4 Rumbles and he's done well in 2 of them. In 2002, he entered at number 26 in a match where the latter third was overwhelming with main event players and came out of it in 2nd place. In 2004, he made 3rd place. Then in 2005, he was eliminated within seconds, but the guy already had a championship match earlier that night, so it's slightly less embarrassing. It's worth noting that in 2004, when SmackDown did a 15-man Royal Rumble, Angle drew number 1 and once again made 2nd place. This time after a very long final battle with winner Eddie Guerrero. On one hand, as the go-to comedy character, Santino will go down in history as one of the worst Rumble competitors. Not only does he have the record for quickest elimination, but almost all of his runs in the Rumble have lasted for mere moments, and the only elimination he's pulled off in his entire career is Ricardo Rodriguez. Big Cass is another technicality like Santino. He got the wonderful number 49 spot at the Greatest Royal Rumble and outlasted his opponents long enough to make second place. The only things of note during this time was how he eliminated and exhausted Daniel Bryan and took a nasty botch of a suplex attempt by Bobby Lashley that turned itself into a real brainbuster. Still, second place in the biggest WWE Rumble ever is worth noting, even if Cass was out the door within the next couple months. Nikki Bella got a late enough draw in the first Women's Royal Rumble at number 27. During that time, she took out Carmella, helped throw out Nia Jax, and betrayed her allies Sasha Banks and Brie Bella. Unfortunately for Nikki, she got rid of her backup too early and Asuka turned her into a mere runner-up. Friendship and family. Nikki. Did cartoons teach you nothing? Nikki failed to win, but she did get to main event the first ever all-women's WWE PPV. Rumble winner Asuka got to stare at James Ellsworth for a while and lose to Carmella.
Warrior has only been in 2 Rumbles with just one worth mentioning. The 1990 Rumble was won by Hulk Hogan, but it was a vehicle to get Warrior over just a little bit more and set up the main event for WrestleMania 6. Warrior appeared at number 21 and mixed it up with the full ring of wrestlers, showing no signs of taking damage. Once Hulk Hogan arrived a few spots later, the two cleaned out the ring within moments. Warrior eliminated 6 men and then went head-to-head against Hogan. Warrior got thrown out several minutes later, but at least he looked pretty damn unstoppable for a man who lasted 14:29. How fitting that the woman who made waves by main eventing NXT TakeOver with an Iron Woman match would be the Iron Woman of her first Royal Rumble. Sasha Banks appeared at number 1 and endured to 4th place. Outside of helping get rid of Vicky Guerrero, Sasha didn't really do much until her final minutes, where she stabbed her best friend Bayley in the back and eliminated both her and Trish Stratus. Had she sided with Asuka against the Bella Twins, Sasha might have had a shot at winning, but sealed her fate by going the 3-on-1 route. Almost 55 minutes in the ring is nothing to sneeze at.
Finn Balor is another competitor who started the match and came so close to being the last man standing. He entered at number 2 and did all right for himself. Baron Corbin, Aiden English, Dolph Ziggler, and Rey Mysterio all acted as his victims. Even at 4th place, he was in a good place, as he lost to John Cena, Roman Reigns, and eventual winner Shinsuke Nakamura. No shame in that. By the time Cena dumped him out, Balor lasted over 57 minutes. Rikishi appeared at number 5 and proceeded to help clear the ring until it was just him and his good buddy Grandmaster Sexay. Out next was Scotty 2 Hotty, who convinced the two to join him in their trademark dancing. Rikishi clotheslined his partners and threw them out. He then eliminated the next entry Steve Blackman and Viscera before Big Boss Man decided to wait out the entrance so he didn't have to fight Rikishi alone. Rikishi lasted over 16 minutes before it took 6 men at once to lift him out, but he acted as the most memorable part of the entire match. While Rikishi has never been a finalist in any of the mainstream Rumbles, he got 3rd place in the 2004 SmackDown Royal Rumble. He still accomplished some noteworthy eliminations. Not only did he take out Steve Austin in the 1996 Rumble, but in 2001, he single-handedly defeated The Undertaker thanks to the power of his invincible Samoan skull.
In the beginning, Khali was treated as the ultimate heel threat. He first showed up by absolutely crushing The Undertaker without any foul play. When it came time for Khali's Royal Rumble debut in 2007, he conquered the ring like no other. Not only did he pull off 7 eliminations despite coming in at number 28, but he laid waste to everyone around him. He left a giant pile of bodies around the ring and eventually got around to picking up the lifeless carcasses and flinging them into the distance. The idea was that Khali was such a monster that the only person to prevent him from winning was number 30, The Undertaker. Undertaker took care of Khali and basically saved all the would-be victims left littered in the ring. After that, Khali stopped being treated seriously in the Rumble and would usually show up, chop a couple people, then get thrown out to no fanfare. As of this writing, Charlotte's only taken part in the 2019 Royal Rumble, and when watched from her perspective, it's a bit of a tragedy. Of all the women who drew for that match, she was the only viable option. She entered at number 13 and proved her worth, even eliminating her lesser doppelganger Lacey Evans. Over her 50 minutes of in-ring time, she also took out Tamina, Ciali, and Carmella. She even got the assist in removing Nia Jax. Charlotte made runner-up, having lost to Becky Lynch, a woman who wasn't even supposed to be in the match in the first place, but had herself added in as an arguable number 31. Then again, Becky's knee was busted, so Charlotte owes part of her loss to her own hubris. She ended up getting that WrestleMania main event challenger spot anyway, so whatever. Diesel's appearance in 1994 is pretty legendary. Early on, he appeared and proceeded to demolish anyone in his way. Scott Steiner, Kwang, Owen Hart, and Bart Gunn all fell to his power, leaving Diesel alone in the ring. For the next several minutes, Diesel would await his next opponent, annihilate them, and wait for the next entrant. He went through Bob Backlund, Billy Gunn, and Virgil until Randy Savage ran out to put a stop to his streak. The ring filled up enough over time that a group effort was able to heave Diesel out of there. The fans cheered him on as he walked off, despite being a heel, as sometimes you don't need to win the match to get over. Diesel returned to the Rumble 2 years later and had another strong performance. Appearing at number 22, he eliminated Hunter Hart Helmsley, Owen Hart, Tatanka, Duke Droese, and Kama. He lasted to the very end and ate a super kick from Shawn Michaels, sending Diesel to the floor and earning him second place. Several years after that, Daniel was cleared to wrestle again and returned at WrestleMania. Shortly after, he was entered into the Greatest Royal Rumble, which featured 50 competitors. Bryan didn't get the win on this one, but they did throw him a bone by letting him put his endurance to use by entering at number 1 and lasting as long as third place. He only eliminated Mark Henry, Victor, and Dash Wilder, but the dude still lasted a whole 1 hour and 16 minutes, demolishing the pre-existing record set by Rey Mysterio. Even then, he spent the final minutes taking it to eventual winner Braun Strowman until Big Cass eliminated Bryan. Chris Jericho has appeared in 10 Rumbles, and while he's been in just over half as many as Kane, he's made more of the opportunities. Right now, Jericho has a combined 5 hours, 1 minute, and 30 seconds of Rumble time. Earthquake introduced one of the classic staples of the Royal Rumble back in 1990, where it took a handful of wrestlers to swarm him and force him out by a pure numbers. A great way to keep him from winning the Rumble, but at the same time protecting him and making him seem like a massive threat. A year later, Earthquake was more fully formed and was at the tail end of his Hulk Hogan feud. Earthquake did enough damage by eliminating Tito Santana, Animal, Bushwhacker Luke, which is still one of the best Rumble moments, and the British Bulldog. Then he ended up in the final 2 against overly patriotic Hulk Hogan, and that was that. The less said about his time as Golga the better.